and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Let's Stream Assassin's Creed Unity. In the last part, we learned a lesson in humility and haste before focusing our attention on smaller stories, like helping Madame Tussaud recover some heads to make death masks, and purging the leadership, the Templar leadership, of the cult of Baphomet. Since then, we've received a bit of an upgrade, as you can see, and we are heading to help Madame Tussaud once again. Our gear has brought us up to rank or tier 3. We're feeling really good about that. But we do have a long way before we can start to do those co-op missions. Assassinate the Sun Coulot's leader, Jean Lessard, who is stalking Madame Tussaud.
He is furious. I've escaped the guillotine. He sent men to my shop to apprehend me. I dare not return there. Could you please go to my shop and make sure my assistants are safe? And please remove that horrid man.
It'd be my pleasure.
Patience. That old bag will show up. Pals around with the aristos, then makes their death masks.
Somebody's going to have to make hers. When's she coming back? Come on, speak!
She should have been back hours ago. That's this guy. We don't know anything.
Escape prison, but you cannot escape me. You flaunt your ties to the aristos and revel in your fancy gowns and refined airs. I'll never forget how you spurned me all these years ago. Oh, ridiculous. Well, the assistants are safe. You're done. And he'll be close by. Just like that. Okay. Go on. There we go. Locate the monastic cult to retrieve part of a twin mechanism that opens Flamel's laboratory.
God, the cross and the lady invoked Notre Dame Cathedral, continuing with the religious theme, monks. And this card, it is clear to me that an order of monks is after mystical power. They hope to find Nicolas Flamel's water of life, his long-lost laboratory, somewhere here in Paris. This card, the key. They have found part of the mechanism that will unlock Flamel's door. You must go to Notre Dame and recover that mechanism.
If we must. Nicholas Flamel. Harry Potter fans rejoice. Born in Pontoise in 1330, Nicholas Flamel later went to Paris to work as a scrivener. Flamel amassed a considerable fortune for himself, rousing persistent rumors as to how he managed to establish such wealth so quickly. For many, Flamel, therefore, must have been an alchemist, able to transmute base metals such as lead into gold or silver. In his youth, Flamel had a strange dream in which an angel showed him an extraordinary book. It was in this book of Abraham Eleazar that he would later discover the secrets of alchemy. Flamel went on a pilgrimage to Saint-Jacques de Compostelle, where he met a certain Maestro Conches, a Jewish Kabbalist, who would give him certain keys for interpreting the book, which, it is told, allowed Flamel to use alchemical methods to acquire his fortune. Flamel is credited with the reconstruction of the Church of Saint Jacques de la Bouchière, the remains of which now stand as the Saint Jacques Tower. Though some say that the Philosopher's Stone made Flamel immortal, it is known that he died on March 22nd, 1418. He is buried alongside his wife in the present-day Cluny Museum in Paris. Yes, this Mademoiselle Lenormand, Marianne Adelaide Lenormand, born in May 27, 1772. Really? In Alencon, received a conventional education from that city's Benedict nuns. It was there that, to her great surprise, she discovered psychic abilities that would allow her to pursue the practice of divination. With the revolution, she moved to Paris to set up a fortune-telling enterprise. It said that this is where she met three key figures of the revolution, namely Marat, Robespierre, and Saint Just, for all whom she predicted a violent death. To be fair, it was a pretty violent time. Lots of people were meeting violent ends. If the psychic had predicted their death would all take place on a little yellow barge called Colin, or by inadvertently impaling themselves on a series of stale baguettes, then I'd be impressed. Her activity made her suspicious in the eyes of the Committee of Public Safety, whereupon she was sent to prison in 1794, where she met and befriended Josephine de Harnaise. She escaped the guillotine and, during the Directoire and Empire periods, managed to set up a new necromancy establishment in the Faubourg Saint-Germain, where the elite made haste to hear her predictions. She is also believed to have met Napoleon, but this did not stop the emperor having her arrested in 1803 and again in 1809 for treason. She believed herself to be nearly immortal and predicted a very long life for herself. Nevertheless, she died in 1843. Huh. Well, let's make our way back to the cathedral. The crooks. Just so. All right. Another day, another lockpick. Ooh. Two lockpicks today. Okay. Ooh. Yeah? No. But we did receive the Book of LEDs, huh?
I can't agree.
I'm sure you do.
This rusty bit of metal must be part of the mechanism that Mademoiselle Normand was talking about.
Well, we have stolen it, which is good. And now, we're away, which is even better. I'm glad that the cafe is starting to generate better and better revenue.
Ah, you have recovered part of the mechanism, as I knew you would. Keep it. It is you who will unlock the secret.
Oh, well, thank you. All right, let's see. Not much left. Not much left at all. We'll do a murder mystery and then an enigma. And then we might try our hand at some helix strips. Not too shabby. Murder. Ancestral vengeance. Solve the disturbing mystery of the numbered bodies. The body of Paul Tarragon, signs of extreme violence. The body is marked by bruises. The arms and legs have been broken.
Oh, monsieur, I am distraught. Who could have done such a thing? He had not a single enemy. All I know is there was an article in the newspaper that made him very upset.
The wife of the victim claims her husband had no enemies, mentioned that a newspaper article made him upset. Partially burned letter. My dear Tarragon, I increasingly have the sense that I'm being watched. No doubt due to the careless revelation of our true identities in the moronic interview given by BG. What a feeble-minded fool. As though people have forgotten. Take care, old friend. Your friend, A.D. Prasi, 19 Rue de Canoyeses. Torture devices. A collection of medieval torture instruments arranged in a display. A book, History of France, Volume 4. 4 sentences are underlined. God knows who is in the wrong. God knows who covers himself in sin. Disasters will fall upon those who condemn us here. Be it known that all who have opposed us and their descendants will suffer by the hand of God. Jacques de Molay. Readers, in this time of change, the French not forget our history. The Inquisition effectively ended in France well over 100 years past, yet the descendants of the Inquisitors live and walk among us. Let us cast our minds back and recall those three infamous persecutors shown in our engraving from left to right. De Nogaret, de Marigny, and de Paris. These three are identified by medallions with numerals. medallions, which they proudly regarded as a numbering of holy rank. We know today that several of their children changed their names to avoid retribution. We've discovered here in Paris a descendant of Philippe de Marigny. He is the prosperous merchant Bernard Grimini of the Ile de la Cite, the Isle of the City. He gave us the honor of receiving us at his home at 6 Rue des Marmousets, where we admired his collection of thumb screws and a chair studded with spikes, which he confided to us our family heirlooms. Well, that's not good. That's not good at all. Almanac, Isle of the City 12. Author's preface. Many families changed their surnames. In this way, they retreated into anonymity, thus avoiding the wrath of their victims and of their victims' descendants.
You want me to come over here and crush you, you fella?
A woman just tried to kill me. Me. I managed to wound her, but she ran off. She grabbed a dagger, an heirloom. I twisted it away and stabbed her. This is her blood here.
The stairs.
She fled through here. You can see the blood.
What's the graveyard? We'll come back here. There was that other person that they had interviewed. Grimany's home. Ah, he's been killed. Similar to the other victims, this body is covered in deep lacerations, broken bones break through the skin. A lifeless hand holds a pendant in the form of a key. It's possible it was torn away from the murderer. Ah, torture devices. Letter from Tarragon. Please be more circumspect in your statements. Only recently I heard rumors of a woman claiming to be a descendant of David Malay's line nosing around in various archives. Centuries may have passed, but passions sometimes have long memories.
Come, we have a mission.
We sure don't.
Come, the Brotherhood needs your help.
Three or four clues. Torture devices. Torture devices. Yes. Oh, one. A Roman numeral has been written in blood on the wall. Griminy was one. Okay. Two. She probably didn't get a chance to finish him. Are you kidding me? Oh, here we go.
They glory in their ancestors' deeds. Vile torturers. They glory in their ancestors' deeds. Vile torturers.
As much as we should. Just accuse her. Let's go over the facts, shall we? Madame Tarragon, the wife of the victim, claims her husband had no enemies. Mentioned that a newspaper article made him very upset. see. De Nogret, 1. Oh no, there they are. De Nogaret is who Tarragon was descended by. De Marginy is a descendant of Griminy. And De Prazi must have been a descendant of De Paris. Okay, absolutely. All three of the victims had torture devices which were heirlooms of their ancestors. And all the victims that were successfully murdered were tortured. Deprasi, Tarragon, and Griminy were all in contact. And this is obviously the descendant of Jack de Molay, who has means, method, and cause.
Glory in their ancestors' deeds. Vile torturers.
And you become just like them.
Ancestors decimated the Templar Order. They deserve to die horribly. You should not have put me here. I was righting an ancient wrong.
Yeah, well,
Any fool could have figured that one out, I imagine. Still, take a weapon if you like.
I do like. Thank you.
Having trouble. It's a tough one, isn't it?
All right. You know, that would be pretty cool. Let's take a look at the case file summary. Descendants of some well-known medieval inquisitors have been living peacefully under aliases, anagrams of their forefathers' names, until recently when one of them, Bertrand Griminy, descendant of de Marigny, foolishly gave an interview to a city newspaper. The article exposed his address and he was subsequently murdered. A large bloody Roman numeral in one was inscribed on his wall. However, Griminy managed to wrest a pendant with a key away from his murderer. Griminy's friend, Paul Tarragon, the first body discovered and descendant of de Nogaret, was then murdered, and a bloody Roman numeral 2 was left behind. The third descendant, Michel de Prazy, from de Paris, would have doubtless suffered the same fate, but managed to fight off the attacker. A blood trail leads to the murder, and Desmoulins, a descendant of the famous Templar victim of the medieval inquisitors. She had taken vengeance on the descendants of her forebears' torturers. Neat. Very neat. Okay, well that's all the stories. So we'll go to Saturnus and Mars, and then we'll see if we can't do some of these Helix missions.
Follow up on what you found, you're there.
I wield two blades, flanked by justice and law. I strike true and fair, hour by hour. Okay. For monarchs and peasants alike. Two blades, flanked by justice and law. That's probably a clock. Ah, justice and law. Encircled by 24 petals of light, Our Lady of the Rose watches, silent as stone, or believers below. Look to the lady lit by the setting sun. Look to the blossoming rose. The planet of China, the ancient. Encircled by 24 petals of light, Our Lady of the Rose watches, silent as stone, or believers below. Would that not be the Notre Dame? Notre Dame de Paris is the foremost monument in Paris and the historic heart of the capital. It's part of the front of the part of this is the point from which all milestones on the roads of France are measured, built over the course of nearly a century from 1163 to 1250. It was one of the first buildings in Europe to employ flying buttresses, which allowed for much higher thinner walls around the choir and the nave. Personally, the last thing I'd want to hear acquired is a Personally, the last thing I'd want to acquire is a thinner wall. Lock them in, then soundproof the bugger, please. The flying buttresses also provide the support necessary for the inclusion of the church's famous and astonishing rose windows. Ah. During the Revolution, the Great Cathedral was variously used as a food storage and church dedicated to the cult of reason and the cult of the Supreme Being. Many of its greatest treasures were looted in 1793. An angry mob decapitated the statues of the biblical kings of Judah that adorned Notre Dame, mistaking them for kings of France. And this is what happens when the uneducated lose their heads. Only the 10 great bells survived unscathed. The damage inflicted would not be repaired until 1845. Okay, so rose windows. That is Notre Dame. Stay with Our Lady, standing between the flowing waters. Count one for each book of the Pentateuch, from rose to transept. 5 arches, 5 wide open eyes, 5 nightmares. The last sits atop our treasure, the gate to the infinite. Stay with Our Lady. Okay. Not quite. Ah. They really meant 5, didn't they? Whew. There we go. And now for marks. Oh, grand. Come on. Yeah, it's a bit too fast. Alright. Mars. In a peaceful field sown with stones, a winged watcher waits. Her gentle gaze graces all souls. Follow to the resting place. Hewn with stones. Well, if it's not those, it's gotta be this one. There you are. Notre Dame Cathedral looks over her daughters, one snuggled between Dame and Saint Chapelle. There, the face of the sun watches o'er his flock. Alright, so Notre Dame watches over it, so the sun watches over his flock. Beyond a Daphne, the blue ribbons diverge, making way for a man and beast. An assassin's victim struck a shrewd bargain to acquire a city. The treasure lies beneath the mount. It's at that point.
Rien de compliqué. On veut juste se faire entendre.
All right. $18 in total. Oh, wow. Look at that. Patience is starting to pay off.
Beautiful weather today, don't you think?
Beautiful weather.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Finishing touches. Oh, we only need another couple hundred. All right.
Every great nation commemorated its birth differently in the New Year.
Well,
Whether people earn only one day of rest in every 10, it is folly. And continuing down this course will make us fools in the eyes of the world.
I think that's a great place to go ahead and stop the episode for today, as Arno takes a well-earned coffee break and watches some culture. If you enjoy the playthrough so far, consider leaving me a follow here on Twitch, or a kind comment maybe in the chat. I do try to read all of them. But if you are going to follow, you can always follow me here on twitch.tv Jeff the Narrator 469, or like and subscribe on YouTube as Jeff the Narrator.
Chastity of San Michel are opening their doors to all Parisian citizens in need of aid. They provide food, beds, and medicine for those in need. In unrelated news, I don't actually have a joke to follow that. That's just delightful. The convention announced today that all citizens are free to practice whatever trade they wish, so long as they apply for the appropriate license and adhere to the rules set to govern that profession. Still unclear is how Paris will deal with the inevitable abundance of professional drunkards and its crippling shortage of night soil porters. A theatre in the Marais district
That's
was
funny.
closed last night after an actor took a heckling audience member to task. What the performance
But
was that the audience member in question
that will be it for today. And when we rejoin Arno in the next one, I do believe it's time to deal with the kingdom of beggars. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, keep telling stories.